How did a grocer's daughter from Grantham become one of the most influential figures of the 20th century? This is the question we find ourselves asking as we delve into the early life of Margaret Thatcher. Born in 1925 in the small town of Grantham, England, she was the second daughter of Alfred and Beatrice Roberts. Raised in a conservative Methodist family, her father's role as a local politician and lay preacher instilled in her the principles of self-reliance, moral rectitude, and a passion for public service. Her academic journey began at the local grammar school and later led her to the prestigious halls of Oxford University. Despite the gender biases of the time, she pursued a degree in chemistry, showcasing her tenacity and intellect. After her graduation in 1947, Margaret's political aspirations began to take shape. And so, the stage was set for a young woman full of ambition and determination to make her mark on the world. Politics, a realm dominated by men. But Margaret Thatcher was not one to be deterred. Her journey into the political arena began in the mid-20th century, an era when women were only beginning to make their mark in public service. Thatcher's political career took off when she was elected as a Member of Parliament for Finchley in 1959. This was a significant milestone, not just for Thatcher, but for women in politics. She was one of the few women who held a seat in the House of Commons, a testament to her tenacity and determination. Over the next decade, Thatcher's influence within the Conservative Party grew steadily. She held several positions, including the Joint Parliamentary Secretary at the Ministry of Pensions and National Insurance, and the Shadow Secretary of State for Fuel and Power. Each role provided her with an opportunity to hone her political acumen and establish herself as a formidable force within the party. In 1970, Thatcher reached a new height in her political career. She was appointed as the Secretary of State for Education and Science in Edward Heath's government. This was not a small feat. She was the first woman to hold this position, and it marked her out as a leading figure in the Conservative Party. In this role, she faced many challenges, some controversial, but she remained undeterred. Thatcher was known for her determination and her ability to make tough decisions. She was not afraid to challenge the status quo and was often at odds with her contemporaries. Despite the obstacles, Thatcher's resolve only grew stronger. She was a woman of conviction, one who stood her ground and fought for what she believed in. Her rise in politics was nothing short of remarkable. It was a journey marked by relentless determination, resilience, and a commitment to her principles. Thatcher was a woman in a man's world, but she was not daunted. She paved the way for future women leaders, proving that gender was no barrier to achieving great things in politics. With her rise in politics, Margaret Thatcher was about to shake the very foundations of the British establishment. 1979, a year that would see the United Kingdom's first female Prime Minister. Margaret Thatcher, a grocer's daughter from Grantham, had risen through the ranks of the Conservative Party to become the leader of the nation. Her 10 years in office would be marked by a determined and uncompromising leadership style, earning her the nickname the Iron Lady. Thatcher's economic policies were rooted in her belief in free market capitalism. She championed the privatization of state-owned industries, deregulation, and a reduction in the power of trade unions. These policies, known as Thatcherism, were controversial but transformative, reshaping the UK's economic landscape. Some saw her as a crusader slashing through red tape and bureaucracy, while others viewed her as a destroyer of traditional industries and communities. One of the defining moments of Thatcher's tenure was the Falklands War. In 1982, Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands, a small British territory in the South Atlantic. Thatcher, refusing to back down, sent a task force to reclaim the islands. The war was short but intense, and the British victory bolstered Thatcher's popularity at home, reinforcing her image as the Iron Lady. Throughout her time in office, Thatcher was a formidable figure on the world stage. She built a close relationship with US President Ronald Reagan, sharing his anti-communist stance and his belief in free market economics. With her uncompromising approach to diplomacy, she was both admired and feared by other world leaders. Thatcher's leadership was not without controversy. Her tough stance on Europe, her handling of the miners' strike, and her introduction of the poll tax led to widespread protests and division. Yet, despite the controversy, her impact was undeniable. She left a lasting mark on the United Kingdom and the wider world. Her leadership, marked by determination and resolve, earned her the nickname the Iron Lady. In 1990, Margaret Thatcher's reign as Prime Minister came to an end. But her impact was far from over. She had served as the UK's Prime Minister for 11 unbroken years, and her policies and principles, collectively known as Thatcherism, had left an indelible mark on the nation and beyond. After stepping down from her position, Thatcher didn't fade into the background. She remained active in politics, taking on the role of a member of the House of Lords. She continued to share her strong opinions even if they sometimes contradicted the positions of her successors. In her later years, Thatcher faced several health challenges, yet she remained a figure of significant influence and respect. When she passed away in April of 2013, reactions to her death were as polarized as the opinions about her life had been. Supporters mourned the loss of a fearless leader and a trailblazer for women in politics. While critics pointed to the social divisions and economic inequalities they believed her policies had exacerbated. Thatcher's legacy is broad and complex. Her commitment to free market principles and reduced state intervention reshaped the UK's economy. Her tough stance on the Soviet Union during the Cold War earned her the nickname the Iron Lady, a title that reflected both her resolute leadership style and her determination to stand firm against what she saw as threats to freedom and democracy. Beyond the realm of politics, Thatcher's legacy lies in the inspiration she provided for women everywhere. As the first female Prime Minister of the UK, she broke through a significant glass ceiling, demonstrating that women could lead at the highest levels of government. Yet, Thatcher's legacy is not without controversy. Her economic policies, while transformative, also led to widespread social unrest and economic disparity. This duality is a testament to the complexity of her leadership and the enduring impact of her decisions. Margaret Thatcher's legacy continues to shape the global landscape, a testament to the power of one woman's conviction and courage. Margaret Thatcher, a figure of controversy, admiration, and criticism. But what was her true impact? Let's delve into that. Thatcher's time in office led to significant transformations within the UK. Her economic policies, often referred to as Thatcherism, represented a shift towards free markets and away from state intervention. She privatized several state-owned industries, cut taxes, and curbed the power of trade unions. While these policies led to a period of economic growth, they also resulted in increased inequality and a decline in manufacturing jobs. Beyond the UK, Thatcher's impact was equally significant. She was one of the key figures in ending the Cold War, working closely with US President Ronald Reagan to apply pressure on the Soviet Union. Her tough stance earned her the nickname the Iron Lady from the Soviets themselves. However, the debate about Thatcher's legacy is far from settled. Some view her as a champion of individual freedom and economic liberalism, crediting her with reviving Britain's economy. Others criticize her for increasing social inequality and disregarding the social consequences of her policies. Thatcher's influence didn't stop at her policies. She shattered the glass ceiling in politics, becoming the first, and until today, the only female Prime Minister of the UK. Her leadership style and unyielding determination have inspired and continue to inspire countless women to pursue careers in politics and leadership roles. Beyond the political sphere, she also left a lasting cultural impact. From the world of fashion to pop culture, Thatcher's influence can be seen in various forms. Her iconic power suits and pearls became a symbol of her era, and her life has been the subject of numerous films and television series. Whether admired or criticized, the world can agree, Margaret Thatcher was a force to be reckoned with.